Hello, welcome back. This is Samuel Ambrosonen. As you can see, we have created our Git repository and GitHub repository as indicated on the diagram just before you there. A friend, I did download Git program on the computer as prescribed in our architecture. And after downloading the Git, I created a Git repository which is local in my computer locally. And then I went to the internet and I created a GitHub account. And from there, I created a GitHub repository. Then after that, I cloned that GitHub repository to my local machine, as well as link the local Git repository to the global GitHub repository on the same machine. So the Git repository that I've created locally is called Git tutorial. That is the local repository there. And the global repository is called some Git code, but I wrote here some Git repo or repo. Yeah, so that is the setting actually of what I have done so far. I can actually show you by going to my computer to show, just use File Explorer, you know, to search for, when you go to File Explorer, then you go here and type Git tutorial. So Git tutorial, Git tutorial folder. Yeah, there we go. That is the Git tutorial I've created on this local device. Is as you can see, is under all local folder, and it is a folder which is a Git repository, and you can indicate that it is actually a Git repository by looking at the .git folder there. That .git folder is the one that shows that this Git tutorial is actually a Git repository sitting on our computer. You know, as I told you before, that to create a repository, you must open the door for the Git to enter inside your folder. And to do that, you initialize the Git folder with Git in it, and then Git will enter inside the folder to make that folder a repository. So that is the Git tutorial, which is this one here. And also I created a Git code repo, a Git code clone repository from the GitHub. So that is a GitHub repository there. So I cloned that on my computer. I can also show you. Let's go to File Explorer once again and see, search for some Git code. My friend, that is the clone GitHub repository sitting on my computer. As you can see, it contains some2.css file, and you can see .git sitting there, indicating that this some Git code is in fact a repository. So my friend, as you can see, .git must be available in either the local and global repository to show that GitHub and the local computer, for it to control the version, both of them must have Git programs. So GitHub is just like your local machine on the internet, and for it to have the power to control the version, it must also contain Git programs. So Git is a program that rules both worlds of local and remote environment for version control. So this some Git code is actually the one I am showing you here. I want to verify to see if this Git tutorial is actually linked to our GitHub repository, because I link it by using the link I got from the GitHub, and also I cloned the repository from the GitHub on my local machine. So I want to establish that link to make sure that my environment is dynamic. I can do things locally and I can do things dynamically, whenever I want it. And that is the mission for this entire learning. You want to set up a GitHub environment where you can locally work on your system and remotely link up with others to share your work with others. That is the mission for the entire program. And to achieve that, we need to know what to do under each section. So whatever you do locally, note that carefully, whatever you do locally will not affect anything in the GitHub. That is why GitHub is very important for the backup, keeping the backup of your locally created projects. So my friend, that is the structure, and the mission for this video is to show you how to clean the repository. So I'm going to start the cleaning right now by the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to run some show command, just to show you what I have done so far in those settings. So let's bring our git bash. That is a git bash there, my friend. So I want to use this git bash to show you. We're going to go underneath this folder one by one to check if the setup is sitting the way we are seeing right now before us, my friend. I really love this thing. I really love this thing. This is really like you're communicating with the computer and doing something meaningful. Remember, my friend, we started by downloading this Git to our local machine, and that download is indicated by that long arrow. We went to the Git website and downloaded Git to our local machine. So the Git is now sitting in our local machine there without doing anything. So to check that we really have Git, you just need to type Git. You see, my friend, you can see exactly what I mean. Yes, we have Git in this computer. You can see usage, Git, and the Git operations. You can see move, add, restore, remove. All those are the indication that we have Git really installed in our computer. And we can go ahead as well to check the Git version that we have in our computer by typing Git version and then hit enter. My friend, you can see we have Git version 2.45.2.windows.1. That, my friend, is an indicator that we have Git program sitting right inside our computer system locally. Now, how do we verify that we really have a Git repository here? Now, well, let's check. Let's go to our desktop, for example, because I guess we have created that repository on the desktop. We can check what is available on the desktop by typing dir. I like git bash because it also allows us to use the command the commands which can be also used in a Windows command line, the normal Windows terminal. So when you type dir, simply like a directory listing. So we are listing all the directories found on the desktop. And we can see that we have a lot, my friend. So we're using git bash now to do the same thing by using the same command dir, just to list, to show you all the folders you have on the desktop. And then from there, if you want to go inside the folder, you use change direction, cd, and now we want to go to that folder. We want to change the directory to all underscore local folder. Before we were on the desktop, now we have jumped inside all local folder. Now we can check what are there inside the all local folder by typing yet again dir. My friend, you can see we have many files there. There's some analysis document there. I think I did some work. I was working with some project in the past, and you can see the analysis of chapter 4, the barcode. I was trying to create barcode for some product as well, but that's not what we are interested in. Our interest is to get inside the Git tutorial, which is the Git tutorial. And that Git tutorial, actually, my friend, is what I told you about. The Git tutorial is the local repository I created locally. To get inside that Git tutorial, we need to change directory again. Change directory, we are going to Git. But before that, I just want to show you something. At this level, all local, you see all local folder is just a folder without Git repository. It's not a Git repository, but it's holding folders with Git repository inside it. So if I do Git status, for example, Git status on this file, you see it says fatal, and the message there is that this folder is not a Git repository. As you can see there, it is not a Git repository, but inside that old folder we have Git repository folder sitting inside there. My friend, this is the power of Git, is to show that Git is specific and it is dynamic and flexible. You can use it exactly where you want it to be. For example, if you wanted this local folder also to be a Git repo, we jump here, and then automatically everything under that folder will be a Git repository. So now we have all local folder, but we want to go inside the Git tutorial. So we need to go again, change directory to Git tutorial. I don't know whether it is capital sensitive. Git tutorial, that's where we want to go. Git tutorial. My friend, now you can see the changes. We came from the desktop, from our desktop, and then we went inside another directory, which is all local, and inside all local we have Git tutorial, and that Git tutorial now is sitting on the master. So that means the Git tutorial is actually a repository, because master is the core branch in the Git repository. Now let us try to show Git to run some command. For example, Git status. You see, my friend, status on branch master, nothing to commit, working tree clean. This is a complete indicator that Git tutorial is in fact a local repository. So it is locally sitting on our machine. Now, how can we verify that this Git tutorial is linked to the GitHub repository? To do that, my friend, so let me make sure I am following the plan here. The plan here is to make sure we are able to use this show command to see the status of our to show the status of our Git repository. So we have seen that we are sitting inside now. We are sitting inside Git tutorial, and we have used Git status command already. So as I said before, Git status is used anywhere. It is used at any level, whether you are in a configuration mode, local mode, or system mode. You can use Git status, but it does not display the information which are available above it. It is just used to show you what is happening right now. What is happening right now with the system, you know. It doesn't show the history or the future of what you need. It shows you what is currently going on in the system. So currently we are sitting on the branch master and nothing to commit. You know, we are in a working tree, in a working directory. You can see working tree clean. So our working directory is clean. Now, what if you want to see if some commit or something has taken place? You know, we want to see the history that might have, you know, the event that might have taken place on this folder. For example, has there been any commit messages in the past? My friend, that is when we use get log. You see get log there? Get log. Get log. Yeah, you can see when we type get log, you see that we have done some commit messages in the past, and there are very many commit messages. And you see get log gives you all the details of the commit, including the author of the message or the committer, someone who has committed the messages to the Git repository. You see there the author is Sam. This is what we are going to clear. This sum is the setting done at the global configuration of the system, and date, time, and the year. These are the things set automatically at the system level of the system level of the Git itself. And then we have the local level. That's where the commit messages was done. So my friend, you see this indicates all the level of the scope of the Git repository, if you like. All levels are there. That's why this log show log is very powerful, because it gives you all the details. But there's one thing that I would like you to note here. Now, if you want to get out from here, you just type Q, which is I would say it stands for quit. We are just quitting to back to the normal terminal. Now, from here, my friend, if you want to get a short form of these log messages, because remember we are still on log. We have used the status already. We are on log. So you can use get log, not hit, get log. But we want to see the short form of all the commit messages, because when you use log itself, imagine you have done thousands of logs and you want to get a specific commit message. It is very difficult. So there's a short form of Git operation, which is called get log -- one line. This hash number is the ID for each of the commit messages that we have done. So if you want to access or to go inside that message to see what that commit message was all about, although we can see that the commit message is here. You can see added access, second commit, added index file, all the commit messages, we can see them there. As I said, you know, this log actually tells us what happened at the global scope, at the local scope, as well as at the system scope. For example, author comes from the global scope, where we set the user of the system, and then date and time. Date and time is something that happens at the system level, at the system scope. And then, my friend, you can see added message. We have done this at the local level, the user level, where we just do the, and then commit messages are commit ID are created by the system. You see all these hash numbers there. You know, we cannot do that manually. So the system does that for us. So when you're working with Git, just know that you're operating in the three different scope. You have the global scope, the system scope, and the local scope. And then we can see the message there. But I know I like talking a lot, because I wanted to get everything from this video, my friend. So we are here to to make sure that instead of having all these commit messages like boom on the screen like that, we just want to have a short form of it. We need a short form of it. And when you need a short form of those commit messages, that is when you use git log -- one line. You see, everything now is strong. They are all there. All the commit messages that we have above, they are here. They are like the brief summary of what we have above. Now from here, my friend, if you want to, for example, you want to know what exactly happened, with this commit ID, or what did they do with that specific ID, it is easy for you now to jump into the system and use that small, that short form, short version of the commit ID to actually enter inside the commit message itself to see what has actually been done. My friend, to do that, that's when we need what is called git diff. This git diff, you just type git diff, for example, and then you enter the commit ID. The commit messages is, I would say, I don't know, maybe you can also align them, but it's arranged in a I would say in ascending order, right from the old messages to the new one, whereby the new messages always stay on top and the old messages are at the bottom. That is the default configuration. I think you can be able to change that if you want to, but I think it's naturally meaningful to arrange it like that, because that something old is underneath and something new is above. So let us see the second commit message. What was it about? So that's when you need to use git diff. Then you enter that number there, EF7C79D. So when you hit enter, my friend, you can now see what happened with that specific commit at that time. That was almost the initial file. You can see that the most important thing for you to actually be able to evaluate this message is the you see the @ the @ 0 is indicating -0.0. You see, Git is very it's very detailed, even -0. So -0.0, that indicates the beginning of the message, the beginning of the file at that particular time before actually committing the message. That indicates for example, the previous version of the file. And then when you see plus there, that indicates the beginning of the new or the current version. So -0 indicates that in this folder actually we had nothing completely, but then after adding something in it, you see that -0 jump to +1. That indicates the beginning of the data added inside this file. And then that 16 there, that's the number of lines added. You can even count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Remember, space is also a line. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. You see, so the new version at that particular time started from line 1 all the way to line 16, but it updated itself from nowhere because the file was empty. So my friend, that is the power of git diff, and that is how to indicate what is happening or what has happened inside a commit message. Now you can go down and try to see some information about other changes. You see, there was a particular change as well, and you know, this one is from another file. You know, the commit came for another file, and that was another new file as well. Well, you know, they open from 0 starting from 1, and it contains the new version is here. That is the old version. Now if anything happens in the future from now, the current new version that you're seeing plus 1 and 6 will now replace this one to be like the old version, and then whatever is added will be added here. My friend, that's how to distinguish the version, and you know, to know the new and the old version right away from the message. Yeah, okay. So that is the git diff for you, my friend, and that's the power of git diff. To get out from here, you just need to type quit. Yeah. So we have done the log dash dash one line, git diff. We have done the status. Now let us go to show command. Show is also very, very powerful. So let us try to see that. Git show. Git show. We have just run git shows. You see, it gives us the last commit message, not all the commit messages like git log, but the last one, and it gives the details of the person who has done the commit message, the date, time, and the year. The message is added, the diff of that message is where it began from, and you know where it is now. This is now Git for you, my friend. So the show command gives a fly overview of the last commit messages with all its detail. For example, if you don't want to see all other messages that have been committed in the past, you're working with a team, you just want to see what has just been committed last, you know, the new commit, for example, then you use show, git show. That will help you to just see the last commit message. Now, my friend, that is it. I'm just working. Remember, I'm working under one Git repository, just the local repository. Remember, the same thing I'm doing here can be done across all the repositories. That's why I just chose the local repository to demonstrate this. Now, what about Git configuration? It is used to list the configurations. Remember, when you use show, git log, you know, all these messages are coming from those scope. You know, the messages come from all the scope. For example, git commit is coming from the system scope. The author is coming from the global scope where we set the author, and the git, the date, things like that is, you know, is coming from the system scope because that is configured automatically by the system. And then added from, this is the message, the commit message is coming from the local scope. You see, so all these that you're seeing here are coming from the local scope, but everything are, you know, are locally significant. That means that when you do it locally, it will be recognized by the system scope by default. So let us see git config list. Git config list, it lists the global configuration as well as the local configuration plus some information of the system configuration. So let's see. Git config. Make sure you leave the space, then dash dash list. So you only use this command when you are trying to see maybe who has been configured to use the system, or you want to change, for example, the author and yeah, the author details. Basically, that's all you need to change. Everything else is done by the system. So when we hit there, my friend, you can see exactly what is there. You can see me there. That is me, my friend. That's the name of the author and the email right there. And then you can see if the branch has been configured. You see this branch is the default branch, is configured to be the master. You can change this one, and this one is done at the global mode. Everything there is done at the global mode. And what you can do at the local mode, you see this file mode falls from here going down is the local mode. But let us go into detail to see what exact, in order for us to be able to identify the global, the local, and the system scope. You can use I think that's the second thing that you want to see on this slide. Yeah, the show list command. That's what we're doing now, my friend. We are doing the show list command. This show list command, my friend, tells you the exact details that you have at the system level, the global level, and the local level. All the details that you need to know. So you can use git config space dash dash list space dash dash show, just one dash, and then origin. Yeah, my friend, as you can see from there, it is very clear. It is very clear. Yeah, if I were you, you know this space, this gap here, you can see this gap. That gap actually is where you can use in order to identify the local scope, the global scope, and the system scope. For example, as you can see here, this is the local scope of the system where we operate from. When you are configuring, you're changing the file, this and that, creating repository, this and that, that is the operating zone at the local scope. And then when you go deeper inside to configure the Git, for example, the Git environment, to put the user details, the identity of the user, the email, that is the global scope that you can see. And that's basically what we need to do. The rest of the thing are handled by the system. So another way to identify it is just to see this git /config. That indicates the local scope. Git config, git /config. That's why if you go to the folder that contains Git program, our Git repository, you see .git. You don't see a lot of things unless you go inside the .git folder. That's when you start seeing other things concerning all these global situation. For example, we have our global scope here. This is where we set up the user of the system. You give the name, the details of the email, and then you can also set the branch, the branch. But once you go inside there, that means you are entering into the system level to initialize the branch. So another way to identify this, instead of using this gap here, is to just see that we are one step up. From here, you see git /config, but from here we have .git config as one word and the slash came only when we are coming after the user Sam. So this is the global scope of Git, and then anything from here going up, everything is the what? Is the system scope, my friend. So that's how to identify the scope and to check on the setting in the system by using git config list. So we're moving forward. My friend. Now we have checked out our system. We have seen how things are sitting inside there. We have seen everything really about this local repository. And I told you that this local repository is directly linked to the global repository, which is called the GitHub repository. Remember, there's a difference between Git repository and GitHub repository. Git repository is created locally on your machine, and GitHub repository is created inside the GitHub web server, right? So if you need to have GitHub repository on your local machine, you need to clone it or link to it via the link which is normally given from the GitHub. So I use that link to link my local Git repository to the GitHub repository using that link, and I did clone a copy of the GitHub repository on my local machine as well. There's also a command for cloning that. Everything is there, my friend. So right now we have seen our GitHub repository, because I link it by using the link I got from the GitHub, and also I clone the repository from the GitHub on my local machine. So I want to establish that link to make sure that my environment is dynamic. I can do things locally and I can do things dynamically, whenever I want it. And that is the mission for this entire learning. You want to set up a GitHub environment where you can locally work on your system and remotely link up with others to share your work with others. That is the mission for the entire program. And to achieve that, we need to know what to do under each section. So my friend, I showed you before that all these repositories are found on this computer. Let us see if we can reach to, and that is there, and that is called some Git code. So let us jump into some Git code, and then you can see it's sitting on the branch called main, whereas my Git tutorial is sitting on the branch called master. So from here we can check, we can do the git status to see what is happening now. You see on branch main, your branch is up to date with origin main. Nothing. You see, with origin main. My friend, if you notice this origin here, that tells you that it is not within this local computer. The origin is originated from the GitHub. Whereas if you go to, let's go to the local repository. I just want to verify the difference between this message here, origin main, and what we will see we want to go to the local repository, cd git tutorial, git tutorial. So you see, git tutorial is sitting on the branch called master, whereas some git code is sitting on the branch called main. And let us run status here, git status. You see, my friend, this Git is sitting on the local computer, and it says, okay, on branch master, nothing to commit, working tree directory. You see, is the working tree directory. Working tree directory clean, but there's no any information about the inclusion of the origin or where the branch is sitting, as we have seen from the clone GitHub repository. You can see clone GitHub repository, the branch is up to date with origin main. So that tells you that the GitHub repository is directly linked to the internet. Everything we do there is not locally significant, although we can work on it locally, but everything is sitting on the origin. That's why when we try to run, let's try git remote. When you try to run git remote to see the link on our local repository, to our, let us switch to our some git code and try to run git remote v. It's showing me the origin. Look, it is linked. So this repository actually is linked directly to the GitHub repository. You see, some git code is there. I can fetch it, and then some git code I can push it. So pushing means that when I work on it right now, I can push it to update the GitHub repository. Whereas if I want to see the update, maybe that has been done by someone else, or if someone else wants to see the update I have made, they can always fetch or pull the GitHub repository to their local machine in order to see the update. I think I just cut off, I cleaned the link from the local repository. That's why when I run git remote space -v, I don't see the link. I think I removed the link. It's not because of the internet, but I will verify that. It's something that I need to verify later. So my friend, as you can see, when we run git log, for example, we have done some commit before on this one queue, and then git status. Git status, yes, we have just seen it. And then if you run git show to show the last commit, you see we have not done any commit on. Yeah, we've done one commit there. You see the configuration is still the same. And then if you run what else, let's say git config -- list space -- show -origin. My friend, this also gives us the same information. You can see the configuration there. The user is Sam, and the username, the email is there, and you can see the local scope, and you can see the global scope there, and then the system scope. Yeah, we are good to go now. So right now I'm running this code from running it from the remote repository clone, the remote repository clone on this machine. As you can see, I'm sitting now on some git code, which is a repository, a copy of the GitHub repository I cloned from the GitHub to the local machine. So I have two copies here sitting inside the local machine. I have the copy of the GitHub repository as well as the Git repositories, and they're linked together, you know, and yeah, they're linked together. I'm going to establish that link later because I think I removed that link, but they're all sitting on my computer here. So my friend, I think I can establish that link right now. Let me see. Git remote v. So if I copy this, and then hop out, sorry, yeah, cd space dash dash, I'm getting out to the desktop because I want to go to the local and then from there I want to go to the local repository, which is called Git repository, Git tutorial. I want to go there to establish the connection. So before, let me check Git remote v. This is to check this link here. Are they connected? There's no connection, but I want to create that connection locally right now. So to do that, we do Git remote add origin, and then you bring the URL, paste it here. So I've done that connection. So let us see if they are connected now. Yes, my friend, it's true. You see, the link has been established now. So the local Git tutorial is linked directly to the local GitHub repository that I have cloned on my system. So the link is there. They are directly linked right now. Yes, now the system is now complete. As we can see, we have established that we have local repository sitting in our computer. We have GitHub repository clone on our computer, and there's a link between them, and this circle is now complete, my friend. I am happy. I am happy right now. So whatever you do from here, you can decide to work locally, to work globally, and to do anything that you want with Git right now. This is a setting we want to achieve, and from here on out, my friend, I am now happy to go ahead and start cleaning these repositories. I want to clear everything completely, and also so that I can start redoing what I have undone. Okay, so you can learn, so that you can be able to learn from the scratch. Right, thank you for viewing. I hope you are learning something. I know this video is a bit long, but I think it's very important for us to get into the details of some of the things we are looking at the moment. So we are inside the local repository now. Let me extend. Anyway, let me put it like this. I hope you're seeing it. Right now, my friend, we are inside Git tutorial, which is a local repository. And as we have seen before, all the setup, you can run git show. Yes, we have done some work before. Git log. You can see we have sent messages before, and if you run git status, yes, you can see we are on the master branch, nothing to commit. And if we did get diff, everything is working, and we establish the remote remote connection as well. The remote get remote -v, yes, is directly linked to our GitHub repository. And also we have seen the configuration git config --list --show -origin. My friend, as you can see, we know that this git is now configured to be used by this user, and that's why if we commit the message, this SAM and the email address will always show us the committer of the message, or the author, if you like. So when you, for example, when you run git log, you see SAM is there. That is set at the global level, SAM and the email address. And then these hash messages, the ID for the commit is generated by the system, including the date and time plus the year. And then your message is always put there. So this is it, my friend. Now the system is healthy. We just want to clear everything. So to do that, my friend, we're going to start by clearing the we are going to start removing the git configuration from our system, because we want to reverse this setting back to the normal setting, as if we did not have any Git repository or GitHub repository clone on our system. We just want to clear everything, to disconnect everything completely, and also that's what we want to do, and then start redoing what we have undone again, because I want to show you how I did it, and to let you learn. So this is what we're going to do now. We're going to start our cleaning or clearing the repository. When I say clearing, I mean that I'm just going to clear all the settings that I've done. I don't mean the clean operation that you use in the Git, but I'm just going to clean by clearing all the setting I've done to restore my file back to its normal, to take it out, to rip the GitHub, to rip the Git repository back to the normal folder. That's what I want to do. Because sometimes when you're doing the project, maybe you finish a project, or you want to to reconstruct another project, or you want to get rid of the repositories, and sometimes you may want to clear everything, and that's what I want to do right now. So now we are sitting under local repository, under local repository called git tutorial. Git unset user. You see error? Did you mean -- unset? So our initial setting is correct, because if you try to use on a single dash or single hyphen, it will not allow. You see? So that means the double hyphen is the right one, and it is the right thing we have done. You see? It's not complaining. You see, Git is not complaining. But when we run git list show origin, the username is still there. The username is still there. It's not gone yet. It's not gone yet. Now, what if we terminate this, and then we start again? Let's go to git bash, and then change directory to desktop, and then list directory, and then look for the folder we want. We want to go to all local, and we want to go to git tutorial. Yeah, and then we want to check again. We want to check if what we have done has actually been done. So git config list. My friend, can you see email Sam is still there? Yeah, it's still there. I can still see my email is still there, and my name is still there. Why? Okay, let us try to do some changes on the file that we have sitting inside the Git. Let's say we want to make some changes here, and I have this web page design on this, and let's open it with Notepad, and then perhaps add something. Register to get this wonderful picture, please. And then I want to add maybe another paragraph, and then I will say, please let us know. Please let us know that you are satisfied with our services. So this is what I've just added on this website. I know it's not ideal to put the closing tag there, but I've just done it for the formality of uniformity. So I'm going to save this and then run my website again to make sure the website is showing what I have just done. You see, please let us know that you are satisfied with our services. So that's a change I've made, and I just want to go to the Git, to our local Git, and then see I'm under Git tutorial. So let's run Git status to see what's happening now. You see, the file has been modified and is not tracked yet. You see, changes not staged for commit. Use git add file to update what will be committed. So it's like this is the working directory. I've done some work. The Git is telling me to add it where I can commit it from, and that place is called stage. Is the staging mode. Now, to do that, you can either enter the specific file or all the files. So I'm just going to add all the file. I'm assuming that I have many files there. Git add dot. If I wanted to add just that file, I would say index dot html. That will add that file alone. But if there were many files, I would just say dot, to add the file. And then run git status again. Git status. My friend, this is the reason why I told you git status. You will always use git status to see what's happening now. You can now see on branch master changes to be committed now. Before, changes not staged for commit, but now changes are ready to be committed. You cannot commit changes from there straight away without putting it in the zone of staging. So from now, we can now commit the changes. Now git commit. Then you put the commit message. Added some information for the customer, for the users of the system. My friend, now you can see git commit added this and that, master branch added, you see, added some information for the user, 1 file, 2 insertion. So now you can run git status again, just to show what is happening right now on the working directory. There's nothing now pending for us. Git status on branch master, nothing to commit, working tree clean. What about git log? Git log. Remember I told you that with git log, all the information that you newly added are listed at the top. As you can see, we have just added this right now. Some information for the users is at the top, and you can see the timestamp there, and the timestamp for this one is at 10. I did some commit at 10, and then another commit right now at 1 something. So I have committed this successfully, and you can run git log, for example. Let's quit git log -- 1 line, just to give you, sorry, git log, not long, git log -- 1 line, just to give you a fly overview of what we have done so far. And you can do git show to give us the last commit with the details. You can see at the last commit my name is still there, and everything is working perfectly well. My name is there. So my friend, I want you to discover something. I've run the program to disconfigure, to unset the git, but nothing has happened. Why? Because I am able to commit without any warning. If something had happened, I would not have been able to come this far. And you can see the author is still there. And that is the exact thing I'm trying to remove and to get rid of. So what's the problem? What is the problem? Am I not doing the right thing? Am I not doing the right thing? That is the question, my friend. Am I not doing the right thing? I think I've made some mistakes somewhere. Because when you are unsetting, the change must have been made. But the thing is not changing. Why? Why? Why, my friend? Who can tell me the mistake I have made? Who can tell me the mistake I've made? Because the mission here is to remove Git configuration by using unset. And I've done that. Git config -- unset -- global user.name. And then I've done git unset git config -- unset -- global user dot email. And Git also accepted it. But then when I run git config -- list, I am still there. What have I done wrong in this case, my friend? What's the problem there? Okay, let me tell you something. I've done that one from the repository. You see this Git repository? So let us get out from there and then get out from there. Get out to the desktop and then run git. We can see git is available here. We are not in the repository now. Okay, now let us try to do that from here. Git config -- list. We can see the configuration from here. The name is Sam. The email is there. Right? If you go one step down and then run git from there, we have git. And then let's run git config list. We can see Sam is there, email is there. My friend, I'm doing this to show you that once you're in the repository, you cannot do things that affect Git at the system level because we are working at the local level. So you need to come out from the repository all the way to the environment where you just deal with the Git program only. So let's try to see if we are going to succeed from here. Git config -- unset -- global user .name. You see, it has accepted. And then git, maybe we can run to see what happened with the user. Remember, the user is Sam. That is what we want to unset from the global level. So let's say git config list. We want to check if what we have done has taken effect. My friend, as you can see right now, the user is gone. And then let us go to Git. We want to remove that email as well from the configuration. Git config dash dash unset dash dash global user dot email. Yes. Now let us check. Do we still have email there? My friend, as you can see, the email is gone as well. So to check the entire system, show origin, origin. Yes, my friend, as you can see, this sum that you're seeing is the directory. I'm the user of the computer, but not the Git. So the Git program now has been configured. There's no user there. This Git is just the default program that came. Although I can see that the core text editor is there at the global level. I can also take that out, but the main thing is to take the user out. Now when we go back to our repository, cd o, and then go back to the Git tutorial. Yeah? Now we're back to our Git tutorial repository. As you can see there, we can run. It's still there. The repository is still there. Remember, we have just taken the configuration of that Git repository. So when you run git status, you will see that everything is working on well. Git log, everything will be okay. From here, you run git log, you see the previous log is still there. Remember, this log we did before unsetting the user. So everything that had been done previously is just there the way they are. So what I wanted to show you right now is that after reconfiguring, after disconfiguring the Git, by removing the user or the author of the Git repository, what will happen when you make some new changes on the file and then try to commit? What will happen? That's what I want to show you right now. Let's go to our file that we have done before, the web folder. Let's make some change. Please let us know that you are satisfied with our service. Why? So that please let us know. Please let us know that you are satisfied with our service, so that we can improve. To give you the best service we can, to give you the best service, so that we can improve to give you the best service. So that is I'm just changing this, and then I'm going to save it. I'm going just to save it and then try to run it to make sure it is working well. I just want to open this thing because it's found inside the Git repository, Git tutorial. As you can see, I'm changing file in the Git tutorial after disconfiguring, after removing the author. So I've added this message here after saying please let us know that you are satisfied with our service so that we can improve to give you the best service. That is the new change I've made. Now we want to see if we can commit that change after disconnecting or disconfiguring the Git. Is it possible to do that? Okay, let's see what is happening right now. Git status. So right now we have modified our index.html file, and Git is telling us to change is not stage. Change is not stage. You see, so we need to use git add, to add this file in the staging mode so that we can commit it. So let us stage it. So git add dot, let me just use the index.html. My friend, at the staging mode, there's no problem whatsoever. That one is done. So let us check git status. You see the file now has been staged, ready to be committed. So let us commit. Committing is like now saving the work that we have done permanently. Staging is like putting it somewhere in a temporary location for it to be committed. And then working directory, is where we just work on the file. So now we are committing. Committing is like, I'm happy with what has been done. Now I am going to keep the version of this file at this particular time. So let us commit. M stand for message. I said, okay, another information, additional, let me say additional information for the user of the system. Additional information for the user. You see, my friend, you see git, you need to put git always. If you do git, you just commit, you will not be able to do what you're supposed. This is what happens now when you're doing troubleshooting. It's like correcting mistakes, making mistakes, doing all sort of things. So now git commit, you need to say git commit. Anything that you do in git, except when you're now getting out of git, you must use git and then followed by the operation that you want and then the properties of the operation. So git commit message, and then I put the message there. So let us see if we are going to commit this change. Finally, forget to record it. Friend, as you can see, please tell us. Tell me who you are. I'm not known by Git. Why? Because I have taken out the author. I have taken out the author of the system and the committer of the system. So Git doesn't know who is doing this. Therefore, it's not accepting me to write the history in the final repository, because the repository doesn't know who is doing this. My friend, this is the robust nature of Git. This is the robustity of Git program. And that's why I said Git is opening the heaven for us, the technological heaven. Git is superb. So you can see it's not allowing us, but before we did all this, without any problem. But now Git is telling us that please tell me who you are. To do that, run git global user.email and then put your email, and then git config global user.name to write your name there, and then to set your account default identity. You see, Git is telling us even what to do. I have undone that already. I took everything, but it's now telling me to do what I have undone. So my friend, I'm just doing this to show you that what happens after doing this and then trying to pretend that you're doing the normal thing when you have already messed up the system. So the goal has been met. We have removed or unset the global configuration of Git. Now the next thing that we are going to do is to remove the files that we have put inside the repository. We want to get rid of those files, and then after that we will get rid of the repository themselves. So let us go there and do it. So what we have done so far, we have taken what we have done so far, my friend. We have unset the configuration, and we have checked it. Now we are going to see how to remove the files and to remove the file from our GitHub repository. That is the mission we are going to do right now. And as you can see, this file here is sitting inside tutorial Git repository, and there's a folder there as well, and that folder is also it's not a Git repository, but it's sitting inside Git tutorial. So I'm going to show you how to remove that's what I mean by clearing. I'm not doing the cleaning of the repository whereby you clean the file and everything and you leave them there. I am clearing the repository, and the repository itself, I'm going to remove it to set it back to the normal folder. So let us start with this one. Let us go to so we are starting with this one. So we want to remove the folder found inside the repository here. So let's go to, okay, let's clear Control L, clear the screen. So let's check the status. Git status, everything is okay. There's one modified file that we have not pushed, of course, because we have taken the configuration off. That's why we cannot be able to commit. However, we managed to put it on the staging mode. So the file has now been staged, like it's there in the quarantine, but we cannot commit it. So how can we take this file out of the quarantine? We have to use that remove. So we do git remove recursively, or remove caged, caged and then indexed.html. From the stage mode back to unstaging mode. Yeah, and then when you run git status again, you will see that this file has been removed to our working directory where nothing is being tracked. So git status, you see we are back to the working directory. You can see, and track file is not being tracked right now. So we have moved to unstage area to our working directory, and it says deleted file. So now each time when you make changes, you need to commit. If we try to commit right now, it's not going to allow us because we have taken out the author or the committer of this message. Let's try to commit, and you see commit, git commit. Remember, git commit message deleted the file. Let's say deleted the file. You see, because we are in the process of clearing and cleaning the repository, and the user or the author, the committer, is not known by the Git program, therefore we are not able to what? To complete our committing. That's why Git is saying, tell us who you are. You know, so we are not doing that. I will show you how to commit later. Now, if you run git status again, you will see the same thing. Now we have moved from the staging mode to the working mode. That's why you see the file is there seated, not committed, and is not staged at the moment. But now we want to remove that file completely out from the system. You know, we want to remove it out because we are in the process of cleaning the repository. So we don't want to see that file. You know, we don't want to see that file. That's why I said remove, reset, revert. I call it 3R of Git. This is my convention, by the way. It's not Git, whatever. But because I saw the power behind this remove, reset, and revert, that's why I came with 3Rs. So when you're dealing with your Git, remember these 3R very well. And git remove RF. This R stands for recursive removal, and the F is to force the removal. So if you try to remove something recursively and it's not going, then you try with R, then it must go. And remember, when you're removing the Git itself, you don't need to include this Git because you're coming out from the Git program. So you don't need to use Git. I think that's something I wanted to highlight here. But we are in the process of removing a file. We have removed it from the staging mode back to unstage area in our working environment. So let us see how we are going to remove this file completely from we want to remove this file from this Git tutorial, you know, because right now this file is just sitting inside our Git tutorial repository, which is in our computer here. So Git tutorial is there and the file is there sitting there, but we want to clear all of them. Yeah, that's the mission for this video. So let us carry on with the task to actually remove the file from there. Now, to remove the file, you can move file in stages. Remember, we have removed it from we have removed it from the staging mode by using cage, yeah, but the cage doesn't take it out from the system file. It removes it and cage it still within the Git environment, but now we want to take it out completely, so we need to use Git. Actually, let me open that window so that you see what is happening at the same time. Yes, my friend, what we are trying to do now, you see this file here, this file is sitting inside this repository, and we have managed to move it from the staging mode back to our working environment. But we want to take it out completely from the system. We want to remove this file here and clear all this repository, remove everything from this Git tutorial, and that's the mission for this video. So when you run git status, for example, you will see that there's one file which is on track. We try to add it by using git add. We added it, and then when you run git status, you find that it's added there. When you try to commit from there, git commit new message, new info for the user. When you try to commit it, it will not go because we are not known in the system, as we have taken the user configuration out from the system. So when you run git status, you find that the file is now sitting in the staging mode, quarantine there, and if you run git log, the commitment did not go through. We just added some information from the user. That was the last commit, but the new information for the user is not here. So we want to take it from the staging mode. Git, you use git remove. When you're just taking it from the staging mode, you use caged, cage or cage. I call it cage or caged. It's just like putting it in the memory somewhere in the cache memory. So caged indexed .html, caged index.html. So run git status to see what happened. So you can see the index, the cache index, the index.html has been moved from the staging area back to our working area or working directory or working environment. So from here we want to take it out completely from the file system. We just want to delete this file. So to do that, instead of just caging or caging, we just want to get rid of it. We don't want to see it in our repository no more, because we have, we are done with it. We don't want this file. So to do that, you do git remove, and then you put the name of the file, index straight away .html. So I want you to watch the directory is here, down here. This git tutorial is down here. So we are removing this file completely from this directory. So watch what will happen when I press enter. Fatal. What is the problem? The prospect index.html did not match any file. That is interesting. Now let us run directory. You see, index.html is there. So what's the problem? We want to remove it out of, so let's out from Git. Yes, my friend, you can see this is what I was okay, let us reset it back. This is what I was trying to tell you. Like, when you're doing something to get out from Git completely, you don't put the word Git and then remove index, because we are taking it out from Git. We are taking it out completely, not to the staging mode or anything. So that's how to remove the file, to delete the file completely out from the Git repository. Now we want to remove this SAM as well. So now let us run git status. You see, deleted html index.html. We have deleted. Git restore, use git restore staged file to unstage. So let's try to see if we can unstage, but we have deleted it. Git restore staged indexed.html. Then git status. You see, we have unstaged the deleted file, but the file is actually gone from our repository. The file is not there in a repository. How to remove the file completely from the Git repository, and how to restore it from the staging mode back to where it came from, because it was not here. Look, we restore the file. As you can see, it came back. Remove. Restore. Remove. Restore. Just watch what is happening here. Restore the file back. We remove the file. So my friend, this is the power of Git. You can remove the file and restore it back, just like when you're using Word. You just remove the word and restore it. But remember, with Git, it's so dynamic. Even if you save the work, you can still restore it back to where you want it to be. That is the flexibility of Git, my friend. So we don't want this file. Let us remove the directory that you're seeing there. And to do that, we also remove recursively sum. You see, the directory is also gone. That directory is also gone. And you can type git status. You see, we have deleted some, we have deleted a lot of things. If we wanted to commit all these changes, because each time when you do delete anything or do make a modification on any file or anything within the repository, you need to commit what you have done. But right now we cannot do that because we have deleted the committer or the author of the system out, and we are in the process of clearing or cleaning the repository. We don't want this repository to be Git no more. That is why we are here, my friend. So the next thing that I'm going to do is to remove this Git folder completely, and doing that, my friend, will change the status of this Git tutorial back to the normal folder. Yeah, back to the normal folder. So to do that, there's a command that we use is still the same. Remove recursively, but you need to force it out. Space dot git. Can you see any Git folder now here? I did not touch it. It's gone, my friend. My friend, that is the command you use in Linux. Remember, you don't need to type this Git. You just type rm hyphen recursive removal, force it out .git to get Git out from the folder, to make that folder a non-repository. We have removed Git folder. We have removed, deleted the folder itself. We have removed the index file that we had. So we have done a lot of removal, and that folder is literally sitting there, and it is not really a Git folder now because we have taken Git. Now let us go. This Git tutorial now is without Git. When you look at it right now, the tutor folder is without Git because we have removed everything. We have cleared it, and that is the mission for this video. I just wanted to clear that completely, and also so that we start reconfiguration again. Now, how do you verify that the Git tutorial is no longer a Git repository? So let's try to run something there. For example, Git status, and see what happens. You see, Git status fatal, not a repository no more. And my friend, that is how to make a Git repository to become not a repository, to make it a normal folder. So we have cleared the repositories from our local system. There's no more Git repository in our system, and this Git tutorial folder is just a normal folder. But the good thing is you can still see Git from there, but Git cannot see us from there. So you can still see Git from that folder, but you cannot run any of these Git commands that you're seeing here. You see, Git switch, Git tag, Git commit, any command that you're seeing right now, apart from if you want to initialize this folder again to become a Git repository. So to make it a Git repository, you just do git init. Git init. That makes it a Git repository again, and then you see Git program jumping inside the file. And status You see, now we are sitting on a branch master, blah blah blah, but we don't want it. Remove recursively force space dot get. We don't want it. You see, it's gone. So my friend, that is how to clear file to clear Git repository, to clean. I'm not saying cleaning using the git clean operation, but just to clear everything which is found inside the folder to make it not a Git repository. So this this folder is no longer a Git repository. So the Git tutorial is no longer a Git repository. Now we have to get rid of some Git repo, because some Git repo is still sitting on our computer as a repository. So let us check to see where some Git is. This is some Git is here. This is a clone repository that I have cloned before. How can I make it? Yeah, this is some Git repository that I have cloned from the internet, and now we want to this is a GitHub repository clone on my computer from the internet. So I want to make it a non-repository. I just want to clear it complete, and also open our Git bash. So the mission here is to make this some Git code not a repository as well. Yeah. So we can go into some Git code by changing the directory. Remember, some Git tutorial is no longer a repository. As you can see, when you try to do Git status, that one is done. We are done with that. Now we are going to change directory to our clone GitHub repository, and it's found on the desktop. Let us list whatever is there. Do directory ls. So you can see some Git code is sitting right there, my friend. Now we are going to jump inside there. And then see what is inside some Git code and check the status. You see Git status. Yeah, some Git code is still there and is still a repository. However, the change that we did at the global system level to remove the configuration of the user has taken effect even on this particular GitHub clone repository. To prove that, let us try to make some change on. Okay, let us check the log, git log. Everything is still there as before, and let us check what git show. Everything is still there as before. Now let us try to make changes on this file. Let's see, let us say Let us add some comment. This is a CSS file. So to add comment on CSS, you do that star, and then this is a test comment. This is a test comment. Then let us save. Control saved. We have saved it. Now when you come here, get status, you run get status. Yeah, the file is there modified, and it's telling us to stage the changes. So you do git add some to.css, and then get status. You see the file has been staged now in the staging mode, waiting for us to commit. Let's try to commit. Git commit. We want to send it now to finally save it as something that has been done, and we are happy with it. Comment to test the system. Commented to test the system. You need to be as brief as possible with your commit message. Commented on the system. So let's see. My friend, this is what I wanted to let you know, that once you have removed the configuration of Git from the system global level, or the global system level, or the configuration level, that change will go down to all the folders, to anything that concerns Git in your system. As you can see now, we are on the GitHub repository that we have cloned on our system, and we have made changes to the file, and we want to kind of like commit those changes to make a new copy or a new version of our file in our system by committing it finally to the GitHub repository. But then this Git is not allowing us, because it's telling us that it doesn't know who we are. Why? Because we have removed the configuration of Git that we have made earlier, that we had done earlier. So there's no configuration in terms of name and the user email, because otherwise, if somebody manages to commit, Git, even the manager will not be aware of who has done what. But if your names and email is there, at least the system administrator will be able to identify who has done the commit messages, or who has done the modification of a given version of the system. So that is how beautiful how beautiful Git is. Git is really, really fantastic. It is so robust. Now we have verified that we cannot do any commit messages. We cannot do anything from here, because even though this is a clone GitHub repository, but we are still working on it locally, so we cannot do any changes to commit. So let us now try to check the status of the system now. Git status. You see the file is quarantined there. Now we want to take it from here and put it back in the untrack mode, because right now it's on the staging mode. So to do that, you do git, as I said, remove, then --curge. Yeah, to curge is just like to put it back in the memory still, but back to the working environment. So the name of the file is some2.css. So we are taking it back from the staging mode, and the file is now not tracked. So let us see git status. The file is not tracked right now. But what we want to do from here, we want to take it out completely from the system because we are in the process of clearing the system. So let me show you how to do this. Git remove. I just want to show you something. Just watch. Git remove recursively force sum 2.css. My friend, this is one of the common mistakes, yeah, people make. Some people get stuck here and they start searching on the internet. I want to remove my file. I want to delete the file from my repository. How do I do it? Remember, if you're jumping outside the repository, you are getting out of Git. You know, you're getting out. You're not like you want something out completely outside the repository. In that case, my friend, you don't need to use the word get, the keyword, the usage get, because you are removing it out of Git. So let's say we want to remove this one out of Git now. You just need to use rm, and then you can force recursively, and then the name of the file, sum2.css. So my friend, you can watch the folder. The file is gone from the folder there. You can see now we are left with .git. So my friend, from here you can just check to make sure nothing is there. You see, when you check the directory listing from here, you won't see Git here because Git is a hidden folder. From here, it's always difficult to check as well. When you click this hide, you will just see that there's nothing in the folder. You see, this folder is empty, but it is a Git repository until when you say hidden item from the view. That's when you will be able to see the Git folder coming up. So now this Git is still a Git repository, but it's a GitHub repository cloned on our local machine. Let us see if the connection is still there with the remote repository. Git remote -v. It is still connected. So I should have shown you in the previous repository that we did, the local repository, how to disconnect this thing, because I guess that when we bring Git inside that repository, the connection may still be there, but we are going to check to see if that is the case. But let me show you how to disconnect this link from here completely, and also because we're in the process of clearing the repository, so clearing the repository as well as removing the repository itself, I think it is prudent for us to even cut the link between the repository, the local clone GitHub repository, and the original repository on the web. So let me show you how to actually cut the link. How to cut that link. Yeah, it is very, very simple indeed. We are just going to use git remote remove origin. Git remote remove origin. Let's see. You see, git remote remove origin will cut the link between the GitHub repository cloned locally on our device and the remote repository found on the GitHub. And it is the same command that can be used to cut the link between locally created Git repository. Remember, Git repository is not the same as GitHub repository, although they are all Git repositories. But you need to know that GitHub repository is created on the GitHub, and Git repository is created on the local machine. So to cut the link between the Git repository and the GitHub repository, you use this git remote remove origin. Now let us see if this has taken effect. So let's run git remote -v. My friend, as you can see, there's nothing coming up, which means that this local GitHub repository that has been cloned has now been disconnected from the GitHub repository, which is originally found on the internet in the GitHub. So the next thing to do from here is that we are going to get rid of this git completely from this repository, so that we make this some git code repository a normal folder without git. So to do that, you just use remove recursively force it out space dot git. Watch. Boom. The folder is now empty completely. This is a normal folder without git. To verify that, you can just try to run git status. Git status. You can see, my friend, not a git repository, any of the parent directory, you need to add .git. So this folder, my friend, is no longer a git repository. So now we have cleared all the settings for our repository, and we can now, we are now happy that these repositories are now disconnected completely and we have cleared all of them. Now we are left with only git in our system. To verify that, we can go to git bash. So this is now what we are left with. We have cleaned the system, but the git program is still there. This git program, we need it because we are going to start rebuilding the system back, actually redoing what we have undone. We are going to redo it back. So we are going to undo what we have undone before. So this is the state of the system now. We have cleared the system completely, and also, as you can see, now we have git only. So we have git. There's no repository. For example, if I try to type git status here, git status is not a git repository. Even if I go to the desktop, I can see git from there, but git cannot see us from there. So let's say git status is not a repository. If I go to all local directory, we can change directory to our git tutorial. You see, the git tutorial is no longer a master or whatever. It's not sitting on any branch, and status, you see, is not a git repository. And also we can come out from there to our desktop, and then go to some git code, and you can see some git code is just there. If it was a repository, you would see it sitting either on the branch that we have created, but there's nothing after the some git code there. So when you run git status, is not a repository. As you can see, the fatal message there, this is not a git repository. So my friend, we managed to successfully cleared our repository. So that is, my friend, that is it for this video. And in the next video, we are going to start rebuilding this repository back so that we could have all the configuration, the working environment, staging environment, and be able to review our repository and do some commit and then network with other people on the GitHub. And that is the mission, and obviously we will make use of the Git and GitHub help and support that are available for us to consume. So we have seen global scope, system scope, and the local scope, how to rip them apart, and then in the next video we'll put them back together into one piece to create this environment that you desire to have, so that you can have your local GitHub and remote. You can have local Git repository and remote GitHub repository to share your codes or anything that you may want with others on the GitHub. And also you will also be able to control your GitHub repository, do everything privately on your local machine. My friend, this is the environment that I would like you to achieve, something that you need to put at the back of your mind in order to crown yourself a Git expert. That is to say, the paradigms of operation in the Git and GitHub environment. So thank you for viewing. I hope this video has been informative, and I will see you in the next video where we will start doing our real Git configuration. Happy learning, my friend. I'm here to give you some skills, and to educate you. That's why Emily Data is about education and skill development, and we are happy, to welcome any comments from anybody, any question, please. I will be running Q&A time session at some point, Q&A, question and answer session at some point, to get question about Git and GitHub, and I'll do that before starting our coding course, which I'm going to start running soon. I'm just doing this to build the basic foundation. Remember, this is not all about Git and GitHub. It's just the basic idea that you need in order to work in a Git environment and in a development environment where you will be able to share your codes with others, work in a team, and be able to manage your file digitally. That's why I've done the file management, and this is the core when it comes to file management, Git and GitHub. I know I promised to do something, to do with Dropbox, but Dropbox is just there for the cloud user. But GitHub is more than just the cloud. It's beyond the cloud. That's why I said Git has opened the heaven, for us to technologically be able to collaborate, to enjoy our work, and to program seamlessly, without any problem. You will just feel good and cool when you are using Git. So thank you for viewing. As I said, I will be happy to, to be able to produce any video that you may love, something that you want to see maybe which is not covered in this program. I will be there waiting, and please remember to subscribe and give me comments. Don't worry, you can give me thumbs up, thumbs down, because I am here to learn and you are here to learn too. So we are in the environment of learning, so we learn from each other's, because your comments will help me to improve the quality of my training, and Emily Data will be very happy to see such kind of comments as well. So as I said, Emily Data is there mainly for education and skill development. So if you a company, maybe you want your workers to be trained or educated in some specific area. Maybe you have an agile team that you need them to be trained on how to run their Scrum. We even train Scrum Master, train people to become Scrum Master in their team, and even we have